At Fairmont Crest, sometimes the most frightening thing isn't the wrongdoing itself, but the way people try to bury it only to feel it shifting inside their chest every time night falls. Some things happen beyond intention, and in the aftermath, we convince ourselves that silence will be salvation, that if we hold a secret long enough, it will evaporate like mist on water. But in a place where every glance can become a record, every accidental touch can turn into evidence, and every unnecessary word can sharpen into a blade, silence is never innocent. It becomes a kind of complicity. It feeds pretense, warps trust, and forces people into an eventual choice: confess and risk losing everything, or conceal and preserve the surface while the inside quietly rots. That is why Donnie's confession lands like an explosion, without smoke, no flames, no shattered windows, yet the foundation of her relationship trembles all the same. Donnie tried to carry the kiss with Bill as a stain that time might scrub away. She knows the bond between her and her ex-husband is not just history. It is a chain of invisible snares, sometimes tightening around her self-respect, sometimes yanking her back through memory, sometimes coiling around guilt she refuses to name. She also knows Andre has been watching the danger for a long time, seeing the lack of boundaries like a fracture in a wall that only needs one tremor to collapse. And still Donnie chooses the hardest path. She brings the fracture into the light, not because she is naive enough to believe truth is always forgiven, but because she can no longer survive inside the role of a woman who claims devotion while hiding a secret capable of turning love into a lie. Her conscience has become a relentless knocking in her mind, warning her that if Andre learns the truth from someone else, she will lose even the right to explain, the right to plead, the right to be seen as anything but deceitful. She would rather step to the cliff's edge by her own feet than be shoved there by another hand. But truth is never only truth. It is also the way it is heard. Donnie cannot soften what she admits, cannot paint it gentler, because she cannot pretend it was an accident. She initiated it. And that knowledge is a knife pressed into her palm every time she reaches for peace. Andre may understand Bill's toxicity, may understand that Bill has never stopped functioning as a storm in Donnie's life, but understanding is not the same as endurance. Andre has built boundaries with Bill using his own pride and principles. He has already been forced to stand firm, to draw lines, to warn Bill in no uncertain terms. Now he must face a fact that punctures those boundaries from the inside, because the person inside the wall, Donnie herself, has opened the breach. A part of Andre may want to hold her, to call it the residue of a past that never ended cleanly, but another part, the part made of dignity, the part that refuses humiliation, may ignite in a cold, cutting way, the kind of anger that turns a room to ice. If Andre's anger rises, it will not be loud. It will be the kind that chills the air. It will come with questions he may not even speak, but that still shred the space between them. Did Donnie truly want to leave Bill behind, or has she been carrying him like a habit she refuses to break? Did she confess because she loves Andre, or because she feared exposure? Was the kiss a single moment of weakness or proof that Bill still controls her in ways she will not admit? Andre might forgive a mistake, but it is far harder to forgive the feeling of being placed second in the instant Donnie chose. At Fairmont Crest, people talk about love, but they live on power and position. Andre knows this. He knows that if he looks weak, if he forgives too quickly, Bill will interpret it as an invitation to keep destroying. Andre's forgiveness, therefore, is not only a matter of the heart. It becomes a strategic decision. Will forgiveness strengthen his marriage, or will it turn him into a man used and toyed with in Bill's game? And Bill, though absent from the confession itself, still lingers like a shadow inside every reaction Andre might have. Bill is the kind of man who leaves fingerprints on everything, who forces other people to orbit him. It's around the sun. If Bill learns Donnie confessed, will he retreat or will he feel provoked to push the game further? Bill's poison is that he doesn't need to win Donnie back in a romantic sense. He only needs others to lose through confusion. Donnie's marriage to Andre was never just a personal affront to Bill. It was a threat to his control. Now the kiss becomes a weapon Bill can twist. He can deny it, distort it, use it as bait to make Andre doubt Donnie, to make Donnie punish herself, and ultimately to make them push each other away. At Fairmont Crest, people don't need long speeches to ruin a life. They only need to plant one thought at the right time, in the right mind. While one confession shakes Donnie and Andre's foundation, another kind of rupture stuns Chelsea in a different way. Anita's transformation is not about drawing attention. It is about stripping others of the right to pity her. Choosing to face her hair loss and the visible consequences of chemotherapy is the choice of a woman who understands the body may be ruled by illness, but dignity does not have to be. Anita refuses to be looked at as a victim. She wants to decide how she appears, how she enters a room, how people are forced to meet her eyes instead of staring at what she has lost. That boldness catches Chelsea off guard, because it is decisive, uncompromising and frightening. Because if Anita is prepared to cut away her own discomfort so publicly, she may also be prepared to cut away other things. At Fairmont Crest, a new look is never only a new look, it is often a declaration of power. Chelsea watches Anita and realizes the tightness in her throat isn't only emotion. It is the sense that everything is moving faster than she anticipated, as if the family's gears are grinding together, refusing to let anyone stand safely outside. Chelsea carries Copenhagen, a private escape route, a plan to reinvent herself, and maybe to reinvent her future. But once Anita changes once, she becomes publicly strong in this way. Does Chelsea still have the right to leave without being judged as someone who ran? And Madison, whose presence could be entwined with that choice, will she actually go with Chelsea? Or will she be pulled back by obligations, secrets, hidden ties Chelsea is not fully seen? Chelsea suddenly feels a question pressing against her ribs. Is leaving freedom or betrayal? In this community, one person's freedom is easily rewritten into another person's selfishness. Elsewhere, the investigation into the plasma ring heats up like electricity under a polished surface. Jacob sees the case as a chance to get on the map, to prove he is not merely a name inside the system, but a detective capable of cutting through shadow networks and emerging as someone real, someone formidable. His ambition is not wrong, but ambition in a secret case is also the easiest thing to exploit, because the rumored leader nicknamed the Skewer already suggests a certain cruelty, and men like that enjoy pulling others close with bait before snapping the trap when they think victory is near. Jacob wants the case to go smoothly, but Fairmont Crest has never handed anyone smooth when they touch the true nerve of profit and power. Smitty steps into the investigation with a different fire, the hunger for a story that can change the world. Yet idealism can be the prettiest disguise for personal ambition. Smitty was the one who brought the plasma ring to Jacob's attention, which means he holds the advantage of information, of sources, of narrative control. When he meets his informant, it could be someone familiar or someone new, whose very existence raises a darker chain of questions. Why does this person know so much? Are they trying to help Jacob and Smitty, or are they using them as shields? Is the informant connected to the Skewer, or part of the ring itself? And most importantly, if Jacob and Smitty walk the same road but chase different outcomes, how long will cooperation last before one of them chooses betrayal for personal gain? While truth and investigation ignite in one corner, Haley quietly selects another target, as if life is a board where she only needs to move the right piece at the right time. Haley's flirtation with Isaiah isn't born from romance. It is born from a lack of limits. What she craves is not only a man, but the sensation that she can bend any rule, shake any certainty, and walk away without paying for it. Isaiah, as Banneker's academic advisor, represents another sphere of influence, another doorway into connections, information, and opportunity. The more deliberate Haley becomes, the more her charm feels like a calculated strike, because it is not harmless. It has direction, it has rhythm, it has strategy. This time, there is an added variable. Isaiah and Eva have only just made their relationship official, And in a world where ego turns love into a battleground, Haley may view that fresh bond as an obstacle to crush or as a test to prove she can win over Eva on a different front. The unsettling question is whether Haley truly wants Isaiah, or whether she simply wants to destroy what someone else has begun to build. If Bill has a surprise for Carolyn, is Haley attempting to divert attention from the Hamilton family with a new scandal? Or is she building a new web in case an older scheme collapses? People like Haley rarely act from impulse alone, they act from benefit. And when benefit is threatened, a little flirtation can turn into a social explosion. That is why Fairmont Crest feels like a sealed house filled with smoke. Everyone senses the burn, but no one dares open the windows. Donnie has opened the window by confessing, and she may pay for it with her marriage. If Andre chooses to leave, will it be because of pride or because he fears forgiveness will make him look weak, both to Bill and to himself? If Andre stays, will he truly forgive? Or will he keep Donnie inside a new perimeter of control so he cannot be wounded again? Anita's transformation declares she no longer accepts the victim's role. But what harder decisions will that strength lead her to, especially while health and power are being tested at the same time? Chelsea's Copenhagen plan sounds like escape, but if she goes, is she leaving behind a secret Madison is holding? Jacob and Smitty are stepping into a case that could make them shine or turn them into targets. Who is the skewer? And why does the nickname sound like a warning that he likes to pierce people at the point where they feel safest? Will Haley be exposed before she can pull Isaiah into her trap? Or will she slip past consequence again, protected by her smile and her practiced shamelessness? At Fairmont Crest, everyone believes they are controlling the story, but the story is controlling them. And sometimes the cruelest tragedy isn't the open war outside, it is the moment someone realizes they have become the worst version of themselves just to survive. I can't stop thinking about this kind of drama, because it doesn't require guns or blood. It only requires a few wrong choices, a few seconds of weakness, and a community that loves to pry open other people's wounds. People confess to lighten their hearts, only to hand someone else a knife. People transform to appear stronger, only to frighten those beside them, who suddenly wonder if tomorrow they might be cut out of that life entirely. And people flirt as if it is a game, not realizing every step leaves footprints, and those footprints eventually lead someone straight back to their own door. Fairmont Crest never forgives anyone in a simple way. And perhaps the most terrifying truth is this: even when someone wants to become better, this place always finds a way to drag them back toward anger, suspicion, and the instinct to strike first, as if that is the only language survival understands.